Okay. Okay. Welcome to City of Milpitas Planning Commission, September 14th, 2022, 7 o'clock. So anyone wishing to make a public comment that's here in the audience, there's comment cards in the back. You can hand them to our recording secretary, Miss Medina. Those who are on wish to make a public comment, and you can register via Zoom. Instructions are in the agenda. So at this time, calling the meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance, Commissioner Medina Ashby. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item, roll call, Ms. Medina.
Thank you, Chair. I will begin taking attendance, starting with Commissioner Albana.
Present.
Commissioner. Vice Chair Sierradella. Chair Chuan.
Present.
Commissioner Galong.
Here.
Commissioner Awasthi.
Here.
Commissioner Medina Ashby.
Present.
And Commissioner Mosen.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Medina. Next item, conflict of interest declaration, City Attorney.
Thank you, Chair. I asked the chair and each of the commissioners whether he or she has any financial or personal conflict of interest related to any of the items on tonight's agenda.
Okay. Ms. Medina, would you go down the roll?
Commissioner Albana.
None.
Commissioner Awasthi.
None.
Chair Chuan.
None.
Vice Chair Sierradella.
None.
Commissioner Galong.
None.
Commissioner Medina Ashby.
None.
Commissioner Mosen. Thank you.
Let the record reflect there are no reported conflicts.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Attorney, is there any additional declarations need to be made? You know, one more.
Actually, today you don't have anything on the agenda related to a developer or development contract. So I don't think we need the second admonition.
Thank you, City Attorney. Next item, approval agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the meeting agenda for September 14th, 2022? I see Commissioner Medina Ashby.
Yes, I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, motion from Commissioner Medina Ashby. Do I have a second?
I second.
I got a second from Commissioner Albana. Roll call vote. Commissioner Mosen.
Yes.
Commissioner Medina Ashby.
Aye.
Commissioner Awasthi.
Aye.
Commissioner Galong.
Aye.
Commissioner Albana.
Aye.
Vice Chair Sierradella.
Aye.
Chair Chuan is aye. Agenda is approved. Next item, announcements. Do any of the planning commissioners have any announcements they'd like to make? Commissioner Motion, do you have an announcement? No.
Oh, no, sorry.
Okay. Commissioner Medina Ashby.
Yes, I would like to announce that we are having the first ever Mexican flag raising here on September 16th for Mexican Independence Day.
Great. Okay. All right. Any other announcements? Okay. If there's no announcements, then planning director.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One quick announcement. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock here at City Hall, we will have a launch event for a program is called Milpitas Smart. Smart is for safe mobile access to reliable transit. It's a new local transit program that will hopefully support Milpitas residents and visitors in having better access to both the BART station here to City Hall, the Great Mall, and the light rail stations in the city. So we're very excited about that. You should have all received an invitation to that event. If you're available, please come and attend. We'll have just a short ceremony with our elected officials and representatives from VTA and the vendor, which is a company called Rideco. And then we will have some initial rides in the vehicles there all ready to go, and we'll have one of them on display tomorrow. So hopefully we welcome you to come to that event tomorrow at 9 o'clock here at City Hall if you're available. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Planning Director. Next item, public forum. Those interested are invited to address Planning Commission on any subject not on tonight's agenda or via Zoom webinar. Instructions are provided in the agenda. Speakers may provide their name and city of residence for the recording secretary's record, and comments may be limited to 3 minutes or less. As an item not listed on the agenda, no response is required from city staff or the Planning Commission, and no action can be taken. Planning Commission may instruct the staff to place the item on a future meeting agenda. This time, Miss Medina, do we have any comments either live here or on Zoom?
Chair, there are no comments in chamber, nor are there in the Zoom queue. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Medina. All right, next item is the public hearing item, zoning ordinance text amendment, personal services. Planning Director.
Thank you, Chair. Our senior planner, Lillian Van Hoa, will join us virtually to give the presentation. But just by way of introduction, I wanted to give a little bit of background for this item. It is another, what I'm come to refer to as an ad hoc zoning text amendment. Ad hoc because we're bringing these to you one or two at a time. We are planning to do a comprehensive update to the zoning ordinance in the next year. We haven't quite gotten to it, and there were just a few things that we felt couldn't wait, and that were relatively simple. And so we're bringing those to you now. This one, as you noted on the agenda, is a city-initiated zoning text amendment. It modifies some of the language and adds definitions to differentiate between what was called commercial services or commercial land use, service land uses. Very general category. It was sort of a mixed bag, everything from nail salons to copy centers and mailboxes, RS, that sort of thing. So what happened was about a year ago in relation to, there was an application for a personal services business that wanted to locate in a mixed use, we call it MXD3 zone. This is generally down, this one happened to be down in the TASP area near the new Milpitas Transit Center, and the zoning ordinance was not really clear on that type of, whether that type of use, which is a personal use, could be located on the ground floor. And we were able to work it out, but we recognized that there was some ambiguity in the zoning ordinance that we wanted to clarify. And as this is a really good example of why our zoning ordinance needs a comprehensive update. There are just some sections that are a little bit outdated, and they're not consistent with current zoning practice. We do have, as you're all aware, we have a number of vacant retail spaces in the TASP area. And in order to provide more clarity as well as flexibility in getting tenants into those vacant spaces, this zoning ordinance amendment is intended to do that. So just by way of introduction, and then I'll turn the time over to Lillian to provide you with the details of the proposed amendment. I will add just really quickly that this is a relatively straightforward amendment. There's not a lot, you'll see there's not a lot of complexity in it, but again, the main meat of it is that we wanted to clarify really and differentiate personal services, and Lillian will describe what that means from other general types of commercial services. And then whenever you change one part of the ordinance, then another part of the ordinance, in this case, you'll see off-street parking. There then needs to be other additions to that or changes, minor modification to that. But I'll turn the time over to Lillian to provide the details.
All right, thank you, Planning Director, and welcome, Senior Planner Van Hoa.
Thank you, Director Thomas. Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, and fellow staff. As Director Thomas mentioned, the purpose of the proposed zoning text amendment is to improve the clarity and specificity of certain commercial land use classifications. The series of amendments to the zoning ordinance focuses on changes to the definition section and the use tables for residential, commercial, mixed use, and industrial zones. Next slide, please. So I'll present just I'll try to be as brief as I can, but here are all the, an overview of the zoning text amendments that we'll be making in relation to commercial services. So the proposed ordinance includes the following amendments: eliminate the overly broad commercial services use category, and the examples listed under this category would be reclassified under new, more appropriate use categories. So this would involve the creation of some new definitions. We're going to add a new definition for offices, business, and professional, under which businesses such as accounting, architecture firms, and interior design firms would be listed. We're also going to add a new definition for personal services to include commercial services of a personal or aesthetic nature. So these include things such as beauty salons, nail salons, barbershops, tanning salons, and tattoo and body piercing studios. We're also going to add a new classification and definition for repair and cleaning small items to include businesses that provide cleaning and repair for small consumer and household items, such as tailors, shoe repair shops, jewelry, watch repair shops, self-service laundromats, and things similar to that. We're also going to move some business types that are currently under commercial services to business support services, such as mailbox rentals and photocopy shops, and others to retail stores, general merchandise, such as floral shops and tuxedo rentals. Next slide, please. Other minor changes include adding a definition for a dry cleaning plant, as there's no definition provided in the code. We're also going to update and, sorry, I'm going a little bit out of order, but we're also going to update the residential, commercial, mixed use, and industrial use tables to reflect the new and revised definitions that I mentioned. And staff also elected to make an additional minor change to the use regulations of general retail stores in the mixed use MXD and high density mixed use MXD2 zones to allow them as a by right use rather than require a minor conditional use permit. Other minor revisions have been made to the residential and mixed use zone special uses sections for consistency with the changes to use classifications, and existing references to commercial services in these sections have been updated. And lastly, changes have also been made to the off-street parking section to make the land uses in the table consistent with the new and amended use classifications. Next slide, please. So the proposed ordinance includes amendments to all of the following sections of the zoning ordinance shown here on this slide. And as Director Thomas mentioned, a lot of these changes are due to the fact that we're adding and modifying definitions, so they have to be reflected in all portions of the zoning code. Next slide, please. And so one of our new definitions are shown on the slide here, and it's for offices, business, and professional. And it means offices of firms or organizations providing professional management or administrative services, including but not limited to accounting, architectural, business and management consulting, computer and technology, engineering, insurance, interior design, graphic design, title companies, legal services. And just to note, that classification does not include medical or dental offices, since they have their own definition. And then here is our new definition for personal services. It is defined as a commercial establishment which provides services of a personal or aesthetic nature directly to consumers, including but not limited to beauty salons and barbershops, nail salons, tanning salons, hair removal salons, tattoo studios, and body piercing studios. Next slide, please. So the proposed amendment includes updates to the residential, commercial, mixed use, and industrial use tables to ensure clarity and consistency with the proposed modifications in the definition section. These changes will further distinguish office and business uses from personal services. As I previously mentioned, there is another change to allow general retail and personal services as a permitted by right use on the ground floor within the MXD2 zoning district. This will expand the types of businesses allowed in that zone. Since the intent of the MXD as well as MXD2 zones is to create active pedestrian-oriented neighborhoods with a diverse mix of uses and business types, staff believes it is appropriate to allow and encourage retail stores without the need for a discretionary permit. And existing references to commercial services have been updated for internal consistency within the zoning ordinance. And lastly, changes have also been made to the off-street parking section to make the land uses in the table consistent with the new and amended use classifications. No changes to parking space requirements for any land use are proposed. Next slide, please. The introduction and adoption of this ordinance is not subject to review under the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15061B3, also known as the common sense exemption. And as a separate and independent basis, the project is exempt pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15183, projects consistent with general plan, community plan, or zoning. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission open and close the public hearing, consider the exemption per the California Environmental Quality Act, and adopt resolution number 22-017, recommending that the City Council approve zoning text amendment number ZA 22-0004, amending sections of Title 11, Chapter 10, zoning of the Milpitas Municipal Code to modify and add definitions and regulations for various types of commercial service land uses. That concludes staff's presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Van Hoa. Does anyone have any questions or, and I also see that we also have a consultant as well. So does the commissioners have any questions for either our senior planner or the consultant? Okay. All right. Well, if there's no questions, did you have a question? No. All right, no questions. All right.
Chair, yes.
Yes,
I just wanted to-
Commissioner Albano, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted point of clarification and ask Ms. Van Hoa here. You know, on that last one that you said, something to do with the residential off-street parking. So what we're talking about here is just commercial use, or it will involve some residential area?
It's only for the mentioned commercial uses. There's no change to any residential parking.
Off-street parking, especially when we have a lot of ADUs coming up, you know. So I just wanted to clarify it in my mind. Thank you so much.
All right.
You, Chair.
Thank you. All right, Commissioner Wilson.
Yeah, I have a clarifying question.
Okay.
Is this actually vacant or is there any existing businesses there?
Are you referring to a particular address?
To this
Because-
area, is in this area where we are rezoning this? Are there any existing businesses there? How does this,
So we're not
what kind of businesses are there, existing businesses there at this point? In this zoning area?
Sure. So this is a zoning text amendment and it applies citywide.
Mhm.
So it affects the residential, commercial, mixed use, and industrial use tables within the zoning ordinance. So there's not, it doesn't only affect one particular parcel, it's citywide.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you
Right.
so much. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Albana, you had another question? Okay. All right. Planning Director, you had a comment?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to add that in response to Commissioner Mosin, primarily this will affect future businesses that may want to locate in a particular area. Because the changes would apply citywide, they would apply to existing zones, but it doesn't, if you're concerned, it doesn't necessarily, it will not create any non-conforming uses. It will, existing uses will remain the same, but if it essentially expands the opportunities in particularly in the MXD2 zone, where we found that there was a need for more clarity and more flexibility in applying this zoning.
No, thank you. I really appreciate the clarification in here and giving names to businesses that it can be used for, because that's the kind of area it really is. And I'm glad that you're clarifying that. That's a wonderful thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilson. Any other questions from any of the commissioners? Okay. All right. If there's no questions, this being a public hearing item, I'd like to open up the public comments. Ms. Medina, do we have any public comments in the queue? Either in chamber or in Zoom?
Chair, we do not have any public comments in the chamber nor waiting in the Zoom queue.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Medina. Can I get a motion to close the public forum?
Move to close the public hearing.
Okay. Got a motion from Commissioner Wilson. Do I have a second?
In that.
Okay. And I got a second from Commissioner Awasti. Roll call vote. Commissioner Wilson?
Yes.
Commissioner Medina Ashby,
Aye.
Commissioner Awasti,
Yes.
Commissioner Galong,
Yes, sir.
okay, Commissioner Albana,
Aye.
Vice Chair Ciardella,
Aye.
and Chair Chuan is aye. Okay, public motion passes and the public forum the public comments is now closed. Do I have any final questions or any deliberations from any of the commissioners?
Chair,
Okay, Commissioner Albana.
I'm very happy that the staff has prepared this clarification and definition of each classifications, which is it's much needed as we grow our city. So now I realize this is very important for our commercial land use. And it's always good to expand and change where it was not clarified before, the olden days. And now that we're clarifying it, I think this is very good. So thank you, staff and director and everybody who put their efforts into it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Albana. I got a Commissioner Awasti.
Yes, I was just glancing through all of the definitions. This is fantastic, very nicely done. And this was very, very much needed. It's so clear what kind of businesses can come and where they can come. Another, I do not know if I missed it while glancing. There are a lot of, is there a category for home-based businesses? What are the kind of businesses that can be done from home? Like the home-based kitchens are allowed now, commercial kitchens where families can cook and sell them. So they are allowed by the state and the county. So are there any definition for what kind of home-based businesses can be done in the city of Milpitas? Thank you.
Go ahead, Ms. Benoit.
We already have a definition for home-based business, but we call it home occupation. And it means a business enterprise conducted within a dwelling by the residents of the dwelling, which is incidental and secondary to the use of the dwelling for residential purposes. And it's not in the definition, but we do have a section within the zoning ordinance, I believe under the special uses section, that further defines what type of businesses that can be operated out of the home. And it only calls out actually what's not allowed. And those include like beauty or barber shops, kennels, and other boarding for pets, massage establishments, mechanical and auto repair, medical and dental offices, retail sales, excluding retail sales that are with products sold over the phone or internet, and then commercial cannabis uses. So those are the only ones that are outright not allowed as a home-based business, but most everything else is up for grabs so long as you follow the special regulations under that section of the code.
Thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from the deliberations? Any motions? Commissioner
Chair,
Albano.
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
I make a motion to adopt resolution 22-017, recommending that the city council approve zoning text amendment ZA 22-0004, amending sections of Title 11, Chapter 10, zoning of the Milpitas Municipal Code to modify and add definitions and regulations for various types of commercial service land uses.
okay, got a motion from Commissioner Albana. Do I have a second?
Second.
And got a second from Commissioner Mosen. So roll call vote. Commissioner Mosen,
Aye.
Commissioner Medina Ashby,
Aye.
Commissioner Awasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Galang,
Aye.
Commissioner Albana,
Aye.
Vice Chair Ciardella,
Aye.
Chair Chuan is aye. Motion passes. Okay, great. All right. Next item, the zoning text amendment outdoor dining, that's going to be postponed to October 12th, 2022. Next item is new business. There are no items on there. Legalese, any person aggrieved by any final decision of any board, commission, or department head to the city of Milpitas may appeal the decision to the city council by filing written notice of the appeal with the city clerk within 12 calendar days of the date of said decision and paying the required fee. This time limit shall be strictly enforced. Next item, adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move to adjourn.
Got a motion from Commissioner Mosen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Medina Ashby. Roll call vote. Commissioner Mosen,
Aye.
Commissioner Medina Ashby,
Aye.
Commissioner Awasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Galang,
Aye.
Commissioner Albana,
Aye.
Vice Chair Ciardella,
Aye.
Chair Chuan is aye. Meeting's adjourned.
That was the quickest.